The last thing I felt was my son's hands on my back. Not an accident, a push. The gravel gave way, the world turned to a blur of blue and green, and the air was stolen from my lungs. And as I fell, my husband's voice cut through the roar, a desperate whisper that would become our armor, our weapon, our resurrection. Pretend we're dead. My name is Lydia Monroe, and I am 65 years old. This is the story of how we had to die to finally start living. If you've ever trusted someone with your whole heart, only to have them hand it back broken, then you understand the quiet war that begins in a single moment. So settle in, because what happened next was a lesson in consequence, a blueprint for a revenge so quiet, so patient, he never saw it coming. If you believe in justice, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what happens next. Our life in Maple Ridge was built by hand and heart. 40 acres of legacy land, bordered by pine forests and those majestic sandstone cliffs. Thomas, my husband, he was a man of the earth, a surveyor who knew every contour of this land like the lines on his own palms. And our son Ryan, he was our greatest harvest. Bright, full of fire, we sacrificed, we scrimped, we sold my mother's pearls to send him to college, to give him wings. We thought he'd fly. We never dreamed he'd learn to hunt. When he came back, he brought a new chill with him. His words were faster, his suits were sharper, and his dreams had a price tag. The rich property, he said one night, pointing at our land on a map like a general planning an invasion. It's the future. My investors will turn it into a resort. You'll be rich. Thomas, my steady, quiet Thomas, just set his fork down. The sound was like a gunshot in the silence. Son, he said, his voice low with a pain I'd never heard before. That land is protected. It's unstable. It's us. It's who we are. Ryan didn't even flinch. He just looked at his father, at the man who taught him to fish in that very river, and said, "You've just been sitting on it. It's time to be useful." The word, useful, it hung in the air between us, sucking all the warmth from the room. That was the moment I saw the boy vanish, replaced by a stranger with cold, calculating eyes. Narrator, so when he called, all sweetness and apology, asking us to see the view one last time. A part of me, the mother's heart, leapt at the chance for reconciliation. The cliff air was still, eerily still. No birdsong. Just stand closer to the edge, he said, phone raised. I need to get the shot. Thomas laughed, a nervous, tight sound. Are you sure it's safe, son? And Ryan smiled that same heart-melting smile from his 5th birthday. Trust me, Dad. Those were the last words he ever spoke to us as his parents. Then the shove, the fall, the crushing impact. Darkness. I came to with Thomas's arm around me, his blood mingling with mine. And we lay there, broken, playing dead, as we heard our son's voice from above. Calm. Clinical. It's done. They slipped. No witnesses. Start the paperwork. He wasn't reporting an accident. He was closing a deal. We crawled through the night, 2 ghosts in a world that was no longer ours. Every step was a prayer, every breath a rebellion. Under that cold blanket of stars, I finally let the tears fall. Oh, Ryan, why? Thomas squeezed my hand, his grip still firm, his will unbroken. He thinks he's buried us, Lydia. Now, we grow from the ground he stands on. We found refuge in a forgotten cabin, living on shadows and canned beans. And we watched on a tiny, snowy screen as our son, our only child, sold our memory to the media. They were the best parents, he sobbed, without a single tear. I felt my heart turn to stone. Thomas just stared and in a voice stripped of all emotion, said the words that would define our new life. That man is not our son. The land was his target, so the land would be our witness. Thomas had the proof, the real surveys, the protected boundaries, and I reached out to an old friend, Claire Benson, a woman who believed in truth. When she saw the forged permits, Ryan's signature staring back at her, her face became a mask of grim determination. If this is real, she said, this isn't just fraud. This is a grave being dug with paperwork. I looked at that signature, the one I'd praised on 100 homework assignments, and I made a new vow. I taught you how to write your name, Ryan. Now, I'll teach you what it means to be defined by it. As his cranes scarred our sky, we began our haunting. A simple, plain envelope, no return address. Inside, a single photograph of the cliff face, taken from below. And on the back, 4 words etched in my handwriting. The ground remembers everything. He felt us then. In the silence of his expensive apartment, he felt the ghosts at his door. He reported it as harassment. He was scared, and fear makes people reckless. Claire set the trap and he walked right in, so sure of himself, so clean. When she presented the forgeries, he smirked. Could you can't prove a thing? That's when she pressed a button. And on the screen, a silent, grainy black and white video played. Drone footage from a ranger station, time-stamped for that morning. It showed the SUV. The three figures, the sudden, violent, unmistakable push. The color drained from his face. His world was crumbling. And then we entered. Two ghosts walking out of his worst nightmare. His knees gave way. A mom? Dad? How? Thomas stepped forward, his voice the calm in the eye of the storm. You obliged now. We've come to collect. I looked my son in the eye, the child I'd sung lullabies to, and I spoke my final lesson. You wanted us silent, Ryan. You'll get your silence now, in a prison cell. The trial was long. He used every excuse, every lie. But the truth, once unearthed, is a stubborn thing. In the end, as the guards led him away, he finally looked at us not with hate, but with a hollow, broken shame. Mom, he whispered, I was just scared of being nothing. And I found a strength I never knew I had. I looked at the man he had become and said, You're wrong, Ryan. You were never nothing. You were our everything. And you threw it away. His empire of lies turned to dust. The land slowly began to heal, and so did we. The scars remain both on our skin and on our soul. But when we stand here now, watching the sunset paint those cliffs in gold and crimson, I feel a peace that can only be earned. The place where our son tried to end us became the very ground that taught us how to truly live. People ask if I hate him, if I can forgive him. Hate is a fire that burns the one who holds it. And forgiveness is for a mistake, a moment of weakness. What Ryan did was a calculated choice, a series of cold, deliberate steps. We didn't need revenge. We just needed the truth. And the truth, once it's set free, has a life of its own. It always finds the light. If this story of betrayal and quiet strength resonated with you, if you felt that chill down your spine, then do me a favor. Hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to see it. And let me know in the comments, what would you have done in our shoes? Remember, the wheels of justice may turn slowly, but they grind exceedingly fine. Subscribe for more stories where the human spirit proves it's unbreakable. Until next time.